The spacecraft's crew is sleeping in suspended animation, as astronaut George Taylor last reported exactly 6 months ago. According to the ship's timeline, they left Cape Kennedy on Earth during this period. More than 7 centuries have passed, and the people who sent them on this journey are dead. But Taylor does not regret what he did. Everything looks different here. Time is distorted and space is limitless. The only thing I want to know is whether man continues to fight. It is the miracle that takes the universe to the sky. One last look at the clock. On Earth, it is March 27th, 2673. He examines his companions and takes his place. Sometime later, the ship makes an emergency landing on an unknown planet, and they all find themselves in the middle of the water. They wake up and realize that they have slept longer than they expected. But the scariest thing is that the only woman among them has died. Only then does the flow of water start in the ship, and then these people somehow save their lives. But the world time of the ship's clock had become stable on November 25th, 918. They leave the sinking ship and start moving forward on a raft. They are astonished to see the splendor of the surrounding nature. Taylor reminds them that they are on an unknown planet in the Orion constellation, 320 light-years from Earth. It is impossible to determine because, after landing on the shore, no one had the meter to look at the instrument's readings, and these people kept flying for 18 months. And during this time, almost 2,000 years had passed on Earth. There is no hope of returning, and time has passed. They knew all about it, so they needed to start studying this planet. Tests have shown that nothing can grow here, because there is very little carbon dioxide here. Now they had no food or water. He places a small flag of the United States on the shore, and the astronauts take off. There was strange wildlife, strange rocks, and lifeless valleys all around. Many times these people almost fell. Cargoes are discharged into the sky, causing no rain, and the sky itself is covered with clouds. There are no satellites or landmarks there. They know one thing for sure: a temporary gulf separates them from Earth. And their loved ones died 20 centuries ago. Even if they return, no one will remember them. Taylor provoked his teammates. Why did they go on this flight? What was needed was fame, new knowledge, or the opportunity to live longer. So they have now lived longer than all other Earthlings combined. Taylor says, I am convinced that there must be something better than humans in the universe. Ahead, they see green bushes, and some weird crosses that look like this. After walking a little more, the astronauts become happy and start bathing in water. Then they find human footprints on the shore. At this time, they see dark figures who steal their clothes. These people chase them, but they had destroyed their clothes, and they keep the remaining clothes to themselves. Finally, they go out into the field and see a lot of people who are behaving strangely. They remain silent, and no one pays attention to the astronauts. They peacefully collect and eat various fruits. They realize that at least these people are not cannibals. Just then, a sound is heard from the other side of the forest, and people run to run. The astronauts were trying to understand what happened, and suddenly they see armed horsemen. Gunshots are heard, and monkeys are, apparently, organizing to attack people. Gunshots are heard from everywhere, and Taylor, along with others, runs toward the river. And just when it seems like he's about to get out, Taylor is shot by one of the monkey army, and Taylor's neck is injured, due to which he becomes unconscious. After which, the astronaut is tied to his hands and feet and put in a cage with the rest of the prisoners. He watches in amazement as the monkeys take photographs for souvenirs. Taylor is brought to the hospital, where he is examined by monkey scientists. They looked at Taylor because she was wearing very different clothes than here. 2 monkeys are arguing about the need to study the brains of these humans, and monkeys considered humans to be animals. These people are not paying attention to Taylor, who has come to his senses, and he was not able to speak because of his wound. The next morning, Dr. Zira arrives, interested in a strange animal named Taylor, whom she calls Bright Eyes, because he tries to pretend that he can talk. Taylor is trying to show that he is intelligent, and he wants to snatch the pencil from Dr. Zira's hand. At this moment, Dr. Zaius comes in and makes an extraordinary appearance. But the doctor becomes suspicious, and the man behaves like a monkey. He's just trying to copy. Zira again tries to draw attention to the person's abnormality. He uses blankets as clothes and moves his hands in a very unusual way. But Dr. Zaius becomes angry because he finds these to be imitations and believes that these animals are dangerous and they need to be destroyed. After some time, Doctor puts the same wild girl in Zira Taylor's cage so that her mind remains focused. The next day, Taylor and her partner are in a large cage, where Zira brings her future husband, Cornelius. She shows it to Taylor, but he doesn't see anything unusual in it. While Zira and Cornelius were talking, Taylor was writing on the sand, but no one paid him any attention. At this moment, Dr. Zaius arrives, and then Dr. Zira tells him that Cornelius is her fiancé. And then a wild man erases Taylor's written words, due to which Taylor starts fighting with him. The guards then take Taylor into the room and look at the letters written by Dr. Zaius Taylor, but he erases them immediately. Here, Dr. Zira apologizes to Taylor with paper and a pencil, but Taylor snatches the paper from Zira and writes his name on it. Shocked, Zira takes Taylor out of the cage and brings her home, but Cornelius does not believe Zira's words. But when asked, Taylor says in writing that he has learned reading and writing from Fort Ben Lydiana School. After reading, the monkeys get surprised. Is Taylor really intelligent? Taylor explains that they have flown here from another planet, and Cornelius is surprised because, according to him, flying is impossible. Then Taylor made a paper airplane and asks them to show the map and tells where they landed and how to reach this place. But then Dr. Zaius arrives there and sees the paper airplane, and he orders Taylor to be taken to the cage. The next morning, Taylor is sleeping in his cage when the monkeys arrive and order him to prepare for the castration operation. But Taylor breaks free and runs out of the cage. He manages to hide in the monkey temple, but there he is, spotted by a baby monkey. And Taylor has to run away to Monkey City again. He tries hard to escape, but ultimately gets trapped in the trap. Dr. Zira finds him, and Taylor's voice returns. Due to this, all the monkeys get surprised. Then, in the cage, Taylor tries to teach the wild girl to speak, whose name is he calling Nova, but the monkeys take the girl and put her in the cage in front of them. Here, Taylor tells Nova that he has never loved anyone on Earth. He wonders, is it possible to love again? Just then, the monkeys put a collar on him and took him for testing. Now a hearing will be held on what to do with Taylor, where Dr. Zira and Cornelius are prepared to act as his lawyers. Taylor has no rights because he is not a monkey. The court challenges his lawyers, but Taylor intends to defend himself. To prove the irrationality of man, a learned theologian is called. After all, he didn't know the answers to the simplest questions, because he had not studied the culture here. Here Taylor is prohibited from speaking, due to which he writes his statement. The judge asks Cornelius to read it to him. Taylor is a space explorer and has come here from another planet, but the monkey judge doesn't believe him. He demands that the captured people be brought together. Everyone then goes outside, where Taylor sees Landon with her, but he does not recognize his friend Taylor. And a scar is found on his head, leading Taylor to explain to them that Dr. Zaius has destroyed Landon's mind. Taylor is dragged into the courtroom again, and Cornelius is there standing up for Taylor. He says that even if Taylor came from any planet, our culture does not teach us this. Zira continued her defense. If he did not come from another planet, he was born on this planet. The problem is not in the body, but in the brain, and this is the truth. But no one wants to listen to them, and Cornelius is accused of scientific heresy, and at a tribunal meeting, he was shut down. The person is predetermined. He was given to a servant who wanted to operate on him. Taylor is angry because his views are not heard in court here. And most importantly, why is Zaius so afraid of him? He is unable to agree to this. He asks Taylor, "Tell me the truth. Who are you? And where have you come from? Otherwise, it will not be good." To which he says that I am telling the truth. At night, a monkey man comes near the cage and tells the guard there that Taylor has been ordered to shift to another place. He secretly attacks the guard and tells Taylor that he is Dr. Zira's nephew. Taylor also takes Nova with him, and they head out of town. Cornelius arrives, bringing horses with him, and suggests Taylor return to the ship's landing site. A small caravan sets off and heads towards the river. Soon they came out to where Cornelius had dug. He was ready to take Taylor to the cave. These people were moving forward when Dr. Zaius reached there with his army. Then Taylor picks up the gun and points it at Dr. Zaius. Taylor is free now, so he offers a deal with Dr. Zaius. If Cornelius can prove that their culture is not the most ancient, he will leave them alone. After which, everyone goes into the cave, where Cornelius shows his findings. While there, Taylor searches for human organs, where glasses and a heart valve are also found. But the main thing is a human doll, which says, "Mother." When gunshots are heard outside, Dr. Zaius tries to come up with a reasonable explanation. Everyone runs for the exit, but it was only Dr. Zaius' assistant, who, without keeping his word, attacked the escort of the fugitives. Taylor then takes Dr. Zaius hostage, and he orders everyone to leave. And she says, "I need a horse, food, and water for me and Nova, and in return, he will let Dr. Zaius go." But before leaving, he asks Dr. Zaius, why was he always afraid of him? To which he replies, because he is a man, and his ancestors are to blame for this fact. Because of them, these forbidden lands are barren. because he is the most disgusting and treacherous animal. After which, these people leave, and Dr. Zaius orders them to blow up the cave and capture Zira and Cornelius. He saves the future of the entire population. While going ahead, Taylor suddenly jumps off the horse. He is scared because the planet he was talking about was the same one all along. And man had a hand in destroying Earth's civilization. And he came to know all this after seeing the Statue of Liberty. And this movie is about to end here, so friends, for more such interesting movies, you must subscribe to this channel.